President Trump's renewed push to acquire Greenland. It's not just about ice and minerals. It's sparking tensions with Denmark, rattling European allies, and could even drag in talks with Putin over Ukraine. Hey everyone, welcome back to Cozy PR 6471. Today, we're diving into one of the wildest geopolitical stories unfolding right now in 2026. President Trump's renewed push to acquire Greenland. It's not just about ice and minerals. It's sparking tensions with Denmark, rattling European allies, and could even drag in talks with Putin over Ukraine, while the US courts India on trade. We'll break down the latest developments, why Denmark's military is on high alert, how Europe is pushing back, and what this means for NATO and the global order. Stick around, because this could backfire big time for the US. Let's get into it. First off, President Trump has been vocal about wanting the US to own Greenland, calling it a national security must to counter threats from Russia and China. In recent statements, he said the US needs to take control, whether they like it or not, warning that without action, adversaries could occupy the island. The White House is exploring options from lump sum payments to Greenlanders to even military force, building on a 1951 defense agreement that already gives the US a base there. Officials met with Denmark and Greenland reps in Washington with more talks planned, but Trump insists leases aren't enough. Ownership is key. Greenland's leaders, they're not having it. Party heads say they don't want to be Americans, and it's up to their people to decide. This echoes Trump's 2019 bid, which was shot down, but now it's escalated with talks of force. Denmark, as Greenland's sovereign power, is firmly against any sale or takeover. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has warned that a US move would mark the end of NATO. And get this, a 1952 Cold War-era directive is still active, ordering Danish troops to shoot first and ask questions later if anyone invades Greenland, even US forces, without waiting for commands. This immediate fight rule was confirmed by Denmark's defense ministry amid the tensions. Denmark's boosting Arctic defenses with billions in spending, but the crisis highlights Greenland's push for independence, complicating things further. If the US pushes the hard way, as Trump put it, this could spark the first NATO ally-on-ally conflict involving America. Most European leaders are outraged and united in opposition. They've issued joint statements saying Greenland belongs to its people, and that only Denmark and Greenland decide its fate. France, Germany, and others are crafting contingency plans if the US acts, emphasizing international law and collective Arctic security. Some even question why the existing US-Denmark treaty isn't enough. In a twist, amid this rift, Europeans are eyeing closer ties with Russia to resolve the Ukraine war, seeing it as a way to counter US unilateralism. Leaders like those in France and the UK are pushing security guarantees for Ukraine, including troop deployments post-peace, while US envoys join talks. Recent US-Russia dialogues on Ukraine haven't broken through, but Putin's missile strikes signal escalation. This could be Europe's leverage play against Trump's moves. On another front, the US is ramping up talks with India for a free trade agreement, potentially announcing it soon despite hurdles. Negotiations missed a 2025 deadline over steel, autos, and India's Russian oil buys, leading to 50% US tariffs. US Commerce Sec. Howard Lutnick blamed it on Modi not calling Trump, but India denies that and says they're committed. This FTA could boost bilateral trade, but it's tied to India ditching Russian oil, showing how US foreign policy links everything. This isn't the first NATO spat, think Turkey versus Greece, but a US-Denmark clash would be unprecedented, risking the alliance's collapse. The US is gambling big. Alienating Europe could weaken its global stance, embolden Russia and China, and disrupt Arctic security. If it backfires, the US might face isolation, higher defense costs, and a reshaped world order where allies turn elsewhere, like to Putin for Ukraine deals. Critics say Trump's America First could end up as America Alone. What do you think? Smart strategy or risky overreach? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like if you want more on global politics, and subscribe for updates. Sources in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.